Right, 9 August 2024, and today I'm going to be giving you my evening update, and it's going to be very, very quick as I'm currently on the road. And today I want to take you through what is topical. So, what is topical, and especially today, what has been happening? This is a very fast-moving situation in Zimbabwe. The factionalism in Zanu PF is getting worse and worse by the day. And Mnangagwa is playing the two sides of the factions so that he comes out on top. And especially during this SADC period when there's so much happening. So there's a lot of fake news taking place and people being blamed for things that they didn't do. And Mnangagwa is actually enjoying the show. Specifically, who exactly is deploying the army in Zimbabwe to move around during the day? That is being blamed on General Chiwenga, when we all know that General Chiwenga cannot deploy soldiers. So Mnangagwa and his camp have been leaking false information that General Chiwenga is the one who is deploying the army. And at the same time, they've also been information going out that other people are deploying the army. So the army is just going out and driving around and doing nothing, which is very confusing to a lot of people. And that is being blamed on General Chiwenga, who I know for a fact that he is not able to deploy the army because he's not the commander-in-chief and he's not in the chain of command of the Zimbabwe military. However, the other thing that is happening is Mohadi is being given more and more responsibilities by Mnangagwa. He's going around opening functions, starting during the time of the ZITF. That is when Mohadi started to do more events and also to be sent around in different countries. However, Mohadi can barely stand. He is extremely sick and unable to move around, but he's being pushed to do all these things by Mnangagwa. So it's very interesting. The succession dynamics within Zanu PF are getting worse and worse as the days go. And that is going to be the key story that we're going to be looking at. So that is just something I wanted to highlight this evening after today's events, where Mohadi went and handed over hundreds of vehicles to the police ahead of the SADC summit. And Chiwenga is being given less and less responsibilities by Mnangagwa, and you're going to see this develop more and more as time goes on and as the factionalism spreads within Zanu PF. Now, I want to go into an important story, which is the Zimbabwe Catholic Bishops' Conference. So the Zimbabwe Catholic Bishops' Conference has issued a letter, and this letter has been issued to SADC. So the letter is not addressed to anyone in particular, but it looks more like this letter is addressed to SADC. So if you can check out on the internet, there is this letter which says the Zimbabwe Catholic Bishops' Conference notes with deep concern the prevailing situation in the country. We are all conscious of the SADC Heads of State meeting that is to take place on the 17th of August. It is in preparation for this important meeting that we are seeing the resurgence of some ugly vices. So what these guys are saying, and the Zimbabwe Catholic Bishops' Conference is a very powerful organization. What they're saying is that the police should stop arresting people to investigate. Instead, they should investigate and then arrest people. They're also saying that the denial of bail is not constitutional. So it's not in the constitution of Zimbabwe. But I'm a bit surprised that they did not direct this letter to Mnangagwa. So the Zimbabwe Catholic Bishops' Conference has not directed the letter to Mnangagwa. They've written a general letter which is not addressed to anyone. So they've issued a statement, but they've not said that this statement is directed at Mnangagwa. So you can go and check out this statement. I'm going to put it on Gambakwe if you haven't already seen it. So this is very important because what is happening is that there is a general boycott of SADC events. There is nothing happening at the SADC events. The people who are attending meetings are in a limbo, and the Zimbabwean guys are taking over everything, but they don't have a direction of what to do because they have not been handed over. So if they take over a meeting They can't make decisions because currently the structures are sitting with other countries. So they're just trying to push and pretend as if a lot is happening, but actually SADC countries are not interested in what is happening in Zimbabwe. There is very few countries that are interested. And these countries that are coming are mostly trying to find out that there is a warfare of the people that has been arrested. Especially Zambia. Zambia has been playing a key part in trying to get the people who are arrested, who are currently in jail, to be released through diplomatic channels. South Africa has totally ignored what is happening in Zimbabwe. They are not interested in the SADC summit and whatever meetings are taking place ahead of the meeting. And also, if you look at countries like Malawi, Tanzania, Namibia, they're not attending these meetings. They're just leaving the meetings to go. There is no interest at all. Then the Rainbow Hotel has issued pictures of renovations that they've done to the presidential rooms. Not impressive at all. It's a total mess. If you look at the hotel rooms that they have there, they're not sufficient for a president. So there is a lot that needs to be done in Zimbabwe. And at the moment, we are currently, unfortunately, not at a position where we can say the country is ready. Then Mnangagwa today officiated at the Zimbabwe National Defense University. And I wish I had some pictures of this event. I don't think I have sufficient pictures, but let me show you what I've got. I've got a few pictures of Mnangagwa at this event where various people graduated. And this is people from around Africa and also people from the intelligence circles of Zimbabwe. The Zimbabwe National Defense University is a very good university. It's got a lot of useful degrees. The problem is, what do you do after you leave this university? It's very difficult to do anything in Zimbabwe because the actual security structure of Zimbabwe is dysfunctional at the top. So there's a bit of dysfunctional happenings at the top where you cannot apply what you've learned. The Zimbabwe National Army, especially as an officer in that army, there's not much opportunity for you, and the pay is very low. So this is the professor here, Zanu, and these are some of the people that graduated there today. So there's a lot happening. But the key event that is happening in Zimbabwe right now is the factionalism in Zanu PF. This is going to be a very big story, and we're going to be following it on a daily basis. So I don't want to take a long time. I'm currently on the road. As you can see, I'm sitting here. I'm attending a meeting with some people here. I've left my place for a few days, 1 or 2 days, depending on how long this takes. And then we'll meet tomorrow morning as I give you an update on the news. I've got a lot of updates. Sunday, today here is a holiday in South Africa, so it almost feels like a Sunday, although it's a Friday. So I'll be back tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, with a quick update again, as I'm still away. And then obviously on Sunday, we'll give you another bigger update. So let's look at the comments and see if there's anything of interest here. Mkoma Ivy says, okay, it's Ivy. Aya manyepero akadai anosemesa. Manyepero akadai anosemesa. My brother Gambakwe. Urikuti never noti unonyepera vanhu. I think let's watch what is going to happen. One thing that I've learned is don't ignore anything that happens at this moment. And what makes Gambakwe Media different is that I've got an extra sense that most people don't have. And I can see around the corners. So if you see me talking about something, do not ignore what I'm talking about. You may be surprised by what happens within the next few months. Mnangagwa likes to play chess, and he likes to play people against each other. So he likes to make sure that you feel strong, and then he's going to totally destroy you. And when he destroys you, it looks like someone else destroyed you. So people who know Mnangagwa, they know what I'm talking about. He is not the kind of person that does things that you can predict and preempt. Then Koba Richmond says, Gambakwe 6 now, I followed you. Keep it up. Thank you very much. I have been here since 2010 when we opened Gambakwe Media after I left the United States of America. And that is the time that we opened Gambakwe Media. And then Snini says, good evening, Zimbabweans. Let us unite. Yes, let us unite and let us work on our country getting better and better. And then Philip says, Mohadi for president, the ghost of Strova Mtonori is still haunting the poor old man. Who is Strova Mtonori? No, not president of Zimbabwe. Mohadi is very, very sick. But Mnangagwa is going to try to use him to play against Chiwenga. As you saw today, what Mnangagwa is doing is wherever he normally used to send Chiwenga, he's now sending Mohadi, just to make sure there's confusion in the Chiwenga camp. And you must look at what happens going forward. This is what is going to happen many, many times. And then Mkoma Peter, you see around the corners as you claim, but nothing comes to pass. Nothing comes to pass. You can't say nothing. Let's give percentages. Mkoma Peter Tosh. Yes. He says, no, that man is a walking zombie. Rebecca says, how are you, Gambakwe? So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I'm also following the Olympics, but let's keep focused on our country. I'll be here every day until the end of SADC. So as I said, nothing is happening at SADC. Most African countries have largely ignored SADC. It's only a few countries that are interested, small countries. And Zanu PF is so desperate. Today, they went to look for the youths. So the youths are young people from different African countries, and they brought them to Zimbabwe. This is how bad the situation looks like. Let me show you what happened at the airport today. So this is just one thing that I'm going to show you very quickly. So you see the people in this picture here. Here is the Zanu PF guy who is bowing there. They've gone and looked for people in Zambia, people in Namibia, and that young lady there is from Eswatini. They've just called these people randomly for no reason to come to Zimbabwe as a SADC delegation. That is because there's actually no one who is interested in what is happening in Zimbabwe because of the arrest. These guys, as long as these guys are not out, there is no interest in what is happening in SADC, at the SADC summit. SADC is in a very difficult position because of what Mnangagwa has done with these arrests. 120 people currently in jail without trial, and they've not been given bail, which is why the Zimbabwe Catholic Bishop Conference have written a pastoral letter saying that Mnangagwa must stop arresting people to investigate, and also calling for the stopping of rhetoric. So they are worried about the rhetoric which is coming from Zanu PF ministers like Anna Jennifer Muswere and all those guys, Kazembe, and Mchwangwa, who just talk and they don't think about what they're saying as SADC leaders. So I would like to bring this to an end, and I'll talk to you again in the morning at 5 a.m. But to recap, Mnangagwa now sending Mohadi to key events which Chiwenga normally used to officiate, and there is a speculation that Mnangagwa actually wants to name Mohadi as his successor, just to fix Chiwenga, because of the key factionalism, the factionalism that is growing within the party of Zanu PF. This is crazy, what is happening in Zanu PF. It has never happened anywhere before, but we're watching what we call the post-Mnangagwa era. Crazy things are happening on a daily basis. And today, Mohadi officiated on the handover of a lot of cars to police. Yesterday, you saw Mnangagwa handing over the buildings, the two little buildings in Harare, and you're going to see more of this as the times goes on, where Mohadi is going to be given more and more responsibilities, even though he's not able to function the way he's supposed to function because of illness. So I'd like to thank you for watching. I'll talk to you again in the morning. Thank you very much for watching, and a good night